Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the very first episode of Cinema Smackdown. Now, we just had one hell of a weekend in WWE, and we are just now getting into October, so there's a lot of interesting movies coming up this month, so let's go ahead and get right into it. This past Saturday, NXT had its latest premium live event, NXT No Mercy, and from start to finish, it was just an amazing show. Moments were made, and new champions were crowned. So let's go ahead and break down all the action. Starting off on the kickoff show, we had Kalani Jordan versus Blair Davenport. And this was a pretty good match in my opinion, especially since Kalani Jordan needed this match in order for her to build momentum into the NXT Women's Breakout Tournament, which is starting off this coming Tuesday. We'll talk about the Breakout Tournament in a little bit. Unfortunately, Blair Davenport walked away with the victory, but as long as Kalani Jordan is putting in work, I think she will do good in the Breakout Tournament. Starting us off live on pay-per-view, we had Braun Breaker versus Baron Corbin. And this match got started immediately before the bell even rang, because by the time Baron Corbin almost done making his entrance, Braun Breaker just went after him in the ringside area, and they just started brawling and fighting. And they had, 4 security guards in the ringside area? I don't think they're going to need a lot more than just 4 security guards to keep these two apart, especially now at this point they are ready to have their match. Now, they've been brawling throughout the arena and in the ringside area for a good few minutes before they actually could get into the ring to start the match. But by the time that bell rang, things did not slow down. Things just keep heating up, and the pace just kept picking up. These two men were just going at it for a good little bit, and it was a damn good fight in my opinion between these two men. Braun got put through the table. Moments later, Baron Corbin with an end of days, and he gets the victory. Next on the card, we had Dirty Dominic Mysterio defending the NXT North American Championship against Trick Williams. Now, going into this match, Trick Williams secured his opportunity this past Tuesday night on NXT TV, where after beating Joe Gacy, he wanted to call his shot, and that he did. So he marched right into Shawn Michaels' office and made a triple threat match between Axiom, Tyler Bate, and Dragon Lee, a fatal 4-way by inserting himself in. Later on in the night, the match happens, Trick Williams wins, and we're just going nuts. Trick Williams punches his ticket to Bakersfield, California to face Dominic Mysterio for the NXT North American Championship. And this match was amazing, purely because Trick Williams finally did it. Trick Williams is the brand new NXT North American Championship. Now, will Rhea Ripley be pleased? Absolutely not. But that's not my problem to deal with, so best of luck to Dom Mysterio, I guess. But now, Trick Williams is the brand new NXT North American Championship. So at this point in the night, Mello and Trick have all the gold. But will they all still have the gold by the time the night is over? Well, let's talk about it. The D'Angelo family defended their NXT Tag Team Championships against the Creed Brothers, Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo, Bronco Nima, and Lucian Price out the mud in a fatal 4-way match. Now, I think this match is a great example as to why NXT has such a stacked roster, because these stars showed out. And this match was all over the place. It was crazy. And knowing multi-man matches, not just tag team where you have 4, but I'm talking like triple threats, fatal 4-ways, anytime you have those types of matches, always expect them to go out of hand, which this one did, and it was great. Now, me personally, I wanted Out the Mud or Garza and Carrillo to win the titles, but the D'Angelo family retained, with D'Angelo suffering a knee injury and was able to defend on one leg. So, props to D'Angelo for fighting through that injury. The D'Angelo family are still your tag team champions. Next up, we had Noam Dar defending the NXT Heritage Cup against Butch. Now, it was a very interesting journey to get here. all the way back at Heatwave in August, when Dar won the NXT Heritage Cup back from Nathan Frazier, he got an envelope with a paper in it saying that the next week, or the next couple of weeks, would be something called the NXT Global Heritage Invitational, where 8 superstars from around the world will compete in a point-based tournament, with the winner of the tournament facing Noam Dar at No Mercy for the Heritage Cup. Butch was able to win the entire tournament and face Dar at No Mercy. Now, the Heritage Cup is a representation of the lineage and the heritage of British wrestling. So there are specific rules when you fight for this cup, known as British Rounds rules. When you fight for the cup, you have 6 3-minute rounds with 20-second breaks in between each round. Each competitor must have a corner man, well, corner people in the case of Noam Dar having the rest of the Meta-4 out with him, but Butch, I think he made a great call having British Strong Style member and longtime friend Tyler Bate in his corner. So it was just a sight just to see British Strong Style reunite for one night. And this match nearly went the whole 9 yards, as Dar and Butch were able to each score 1 fall throughout the match, with some cheap shots here and there, but within the final minute of the 6th round, Dar was able to retain the Heritage Cup, mainly due to the interference of Gallus. Now, because of that, this coming Tuesday, we will get, for the first time in a long time, Butch and Tyler Bate teaming up to take on Gallus, Mark Coffey, and Wolfgang. So, that match is set for Tuesday. I can't wait for that, but we are still talking about No Mercy, so let's move on. This match I have been waiting for since the Great American Bash back in the summer. The rematch I have been waiting for, Carmelo Hayes and Ilya Dragunov for the NXT Championship. Ilya Dragunov is easily my favorite superstar on the NXT roster right now. Carmelo Hayes is also one of the top stars in the business, so there was no doubt in my mind that we would have another instant classic, in fact maybe even match of the year candidate on our hands. Now, Dragunov is one of the most dangerous fighters I have ever seen. And those are the type of wrestlers that I like. I really love superstars that are willing to go that extra mile and do whatever it takes within the boundaries of the match that they are in to get the victory. And these guys literally lived up to the name of the show. They showed no mercy towards one another, and it was absolutely brilliant. I mean, sometimes it's still hard for me to find the words to truly describe how beautiful this match was. And honestly, this match could have gone either way to either superstar. I wouldn't be mad at all if Carmelo Hayes were to retain the NXT Championship, because I've seen Melo fight, and I know Melo pours his heart and soul into that ring every single time he gets in there. But Dragunov was able to come up with a victory, and guys, we have a brand new NXT champion in Ilya Dragunov. Back in the UK, Dragunov never officially lost the NXT UK Championship because he had to relinquish it due to an ankle injury. Now, this was before Worlds Collide last year, when the NXT and NXT UK titles got unified, making the NXT title that it is today the title that Dragunov never lost. And he finally got it back at No Mercy. So congratulations to Dragunov, and major props to Melo for giving him the fight of his life. Nothing short of brilliant. Finally, for No Mercy, the main event. It was an Extreme Rules match for the NXT Women's Championship between Becky Lynch and Tiffany Stratton. Now, Becky Lynch shocked the whole world coming back down here to NXT to win the championship off of Stratton really because Stratton ran her mouth, name dropped Becky Lynch. And when you name drop somebody, you better expect to fight them. That's kind of how it works in wrestling. But Becky Lynch came down here, shocked the world, winning the NXT Women's Championship in early September. And it was amazing because Becky Lynch finally became the Grand Slam man, winning the NXT Championship, becoming a Grand Slam champion, along with the other four horsewomen in WWE. So at this point, Becky, Bayley, Sasha, and Charlotte are all Grand Slam champions. Now, Tiffany Stratton didn't walk away so easy after losing the NXT Women's Championship, because the week after a tag team match where it was Stratton and Kiana against Becky and Lyra, she decided to go a little bit extreme, attacking Becky Lynch with a steel chair, hence why this match at No Mercy was an Extreme Rules match. And this match delivered. There's something about a fight with Becky Lynch that not only elevates the superstar, but it also elevates the championship and the whole brand entirely. Because this match, watching back at it, definitely understand why it's the main event. Because Shawn Michaels is just on fire with booking these shows. And these women went all over the arena in Bakersfield. Hell, they almost went out into the streets of Bakersfield from the looks at it, considering they nearly exited in Section 1 or whatever. Honestly, the Mercy just left me speechless. Becky Lynch has retained the NXT Women's Championship in an Extreme Rules match, getting Stratton the fight of her life, while at the same time bringing the very best out of Tiffany Stratton. So that's everything from No Mercy. Let's talk about the upcoming Women's Breakout Tournament. Starting this Tuesday, October 3rd, live on USA, we begin the 2023 NXT Women's Breakout Tournament. A tournament made to showcase all the new talent that is starting to make an impact and burst onto the scene in NXT. Now, some of the talent in this tournament has been around for a little bit, but they still have a lot more to show the world. The following lineup for the Women's Breakout Tournament is as follows. We have Jakara Jackson from Metaphor. Ariana Grace, who has been out with an injury for many months, is finally back in NXT. Kalani Jordan, who has been making waves in NXT since showing up. Carmen Petrovic, who has been... I wouldn't mess with a woman with a sword. That's all I'm saying. I would say Carmen Petrovic is the sleeper pick in this tournament. But I could also say the same thing for Izzy Dame, who I think in one of her recent matches on Level Up against Ivy Nile nearly had Ivy beat, which I think is a rare sight in my opinion. Then we have some Latina heat in this tournament in the form of Lola Vice, who is definitely a favorite to many people to win this tournament. We also have a brand new face who I haven't seen myself, but Jada Parker, who is a brand new talent in NXT, looking to make an impact and show the world what she's got in the tournament. And finally, I don't want to play favoritism here, but my pick to win this tournament is Dani Palmer. I believe she has what it takes to win this tournament, and I think it's an acrobatics background that she has, being so innovative and creating brand new offense. It's almost like there's always something new up her sleeve, so it's almost like you kind of expect the unexpected when it comes to Dani Palmer and her offense. The field is stacked, and it all kicks off this Tuesday on USA. Finally, I want to talk about some of the upcoming movies that will be seeing released throughout the month of October, whether it be in theaters or on streaming platforms. First up, Five Nights at Freddy's, which will be released in theaters and streaming on Peacock on the same day on Friday, October 27th, just before Halloween. Now, this movie is being produced by Blumhouse, which is the same film production company that is responsible for movie franchises like Insidious and Megan. So I honestly think it's in good hands. When I first saw the announcement that this movie was coming out, I thought it would be in a similar budget/production sense that Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey was, which was kind of low budget, but still enjoyable. But I trust Blumhouse, being responsible for some of the most popular horror franchises in history, that they will do a stellar job with adapting this video game franchise. Plus, it's already been confirmed that we're getting, I think, 2 more movies, so that's 3 in total. And there's already like 8 or 9 games, so there's a lot of lore that is going to have to be played in across these movies. But I am actually excited to see this movie. I'm not a big horror fan, but I think it's all of the Markiplier playthroughs that I've watched that has me hooked on this movie. But other than that, I am genuinely excited for Five Nights at Freddy's to finally be hitting the big screen on October 27th, as well as streaming on Peacock. Next up, we have Killers of the Flower Moon, which I think is going to be one of the best suspense movies that I will see this year. It's a Martin Scorsese film starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro. I think just casting those 2 men already gives you a great film that will be talked about for many, many years. The trailer and the clips, all the shots taken for this movie, just look breathtaking. Not as breathtaking as Keanu Reeves, but still, this movie looks like it will knock your socks off. Based on true American events in history, I think this movie is definitely going to be one of a kind. Killers of the Flower Moon hits theaters on October 20th. And a popular horror movie gets a long-awaited sequel, as Exorcist: The Believer will be hitting theaters on October 6th. And finally, for all you Swifties out there, Taylor Swift is going to have a movie based on her entire Eras tour coming out in theaters on Friday the 13th. Now, if you have a theater membership like myself, it's not going to be like you're going to get a free ticket. You're still going to have to pay for a ticket, whether you have a membership or not. And I'm not the biggest Swiftie, so putting price aside, I don't know if I'm going to check this out myself because I'm not the biggest Taylor Swift fan, although her music I still find very, very enjoyable. Taylor Swift's Eras Tours movie hits theaters on Friday the 13th. Next week on Cinema Smackdown, I will be having a sit-down interview with one of my friends discussing NXT No Mercy and the NXT Women's Breakout Tournament, as well as going through the official bracket of the Women's Breakout Tournament and everything that's going down at Fastlane this Saturday, October 7th, live on Peacock at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. So stay tuned, make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you next time.